morning, friends. I'm Chris from Worthington Home. I have been homesick for the last few days, and I am so sick and tired of looking at my own four walls, I cannot even tell you. So now that I'm feeling better, the only thing I can think of to do is to go on a little thrifting adventure. Maybe I'll come back with a haul, maybe I won't, but I found an interesting looking estate sale in Stratford, Connecticut. And there's no harm in checking it out. Goodness knows it doesn't require a box of tissues or a bottle of NyQuil. And frankly, that's good enough for me. So let's hit the road. It's such a beautiful day and so very nice to be out of the house for a change. I had filmed some footage of me entering this house, or so I thought, but when I checked my camera, it was not there, so I must have forgotten to hit record. Anyway, I thought you might enjoy just seeing the front of the house that I'm entering for this estate sale. It's such a cute little cape. I think you would call this a cape. But anyway, here it is, and now we're gonna go inside. Right now, I am just taking in the sight of all of these stacks of boxes. I don't think I'm going to dive too deeply into the boxes right now. This is a really interesting candle sconce. I like that very much. There's no price on it, but it's cute. And this chair is such an interesting shape. It does not look too comfortable. Beautiful stained glass window inset. And a very pretty painting. There's so many unique things. I think the person who lived here before was an amateur painter. There's more boxes. This is such an odd collection of things. I think the person organizing the estate sale also brought some of her own things to sell at this estate sale. That would explain it. I wanted to show you this bathroom because it is so very groovy. My bathroom when I was a kid was just like this, except our tile was brown and pink instead of black. And we'll just take a peek in this closet. I'm not seeing any kind of linens that I need to take a bigger look at. And we'll just check out the contents of this room. Let's see what this chair is. I'm getting a little bit of glare here, so I'm trying to walk around it. What pretty fabric. Oh my goodness, this is a beautiful Victorian chair. Now we're gonna head upstairs. I'm told there's lots of interesting vintage clothes up here. My mind is officially blown. I don't think I have ever seen such an incredible collection of beautiful vintage sweaters. There's so much to take in here, and as you can see, there's piles and bins and boxes to dig through. And the downside is I don't know what the prices are of things. And with that in mind, I don't even know what I should be putting in my pile. It's an old messenger bag. That's very interesting. This is a puzzle. I'm going to try to dig through with just one hand so I can give you some sense of what I'm looking at. Some of these sweaters are reminding me of the Cosby Show. Some of them are a little bit older. Some of them seem a little bit newer. Some of these are just, made in China. Some of these are 100% wool. So I definitely want to take some care so I'm not missing good stuff. But again, without knowing what the prices are, it's hard to know how many sweaters I should put in my pile. Now I'm downstairs. They have a little record collection, as you can see, and there's lots of different paintings. This is really like studio art. Some of them have an interesting look. I admire people who paint. I have no skills in that department. Interesting. Yeah, there's so many painting related things in this space. It seems like this estate sale has maybe happened before. I have a feeling this has been an ongoing situation. It just kind of has that look. But do you see all of the piles of paintings? None of them are really quite anything that I would personally sell, but they're fun to look through. And I don't mean that as a criticism of the painter. I certainly can't paint a thing in this world, but none of them are quite the subject or even sort of the techniques that tend to call to me. That's a very pretty corner cabinet. just want to look in here. I think this is just like a furnace section of the basement, but you never know. That's an interesting dress form. I think we'll head back upstairs. My last stop is to just take a quick peek through this garage. I don't know if there's anything here for me, but there's no harm in looking. There's even more paintings. So many in one house. It's an interesting framed piece. There's no price on it, but it has an interesting look. And the usual kinds of garage things. Some interesting gas cans. I think that's about it. Well, that was a really fun stop, and I figured since I'm not too far away, I will pop into Savers in Orange and see what they have. There's so much holiday decor today. Oh my goodness. This is a cute little rooster, $5.49, made in China. Love all the colors and the feather details in that piece. It's a cute little planter for $2.49, also made in China. And this is a cutie pie with the little lamb. They have so many bags. This is interesting. This piece is made to look like chocolate in foil, but it isn't really. There's some damage on it, otherwise it would have tempted me. But there's so many bags, I just had to show you. Now we're in the China section, my favorite section of this store. This is a very pretty bowl. This was made in Japan. I like the floral pattern. Here's another pretty floral pattern I haven't seen before. This was made in Poland. I don't see a lot of China made in Poland, so that's kind of interesting. Very pretty blue flowers. And this is made in Japan. This is really cute. This looks like maybe a little souvenir cup from Holland. Hand painted. I would have picked it up, but there was so much damage inside. This is a pretty bowl. This is Mikasa. Very tempting, but there's only 2 of them, and just 2 bowls don't tend to sell too well for me. This is interesting. This looks like a Mexican souvenir piece, maybe. Very pretty pattern on that. And here's another pretty pattern. It has a 1960s, 70s look about it. And here's another bowl. I'm just checking out all kinds of pieces. I can't even read that back stamp, but there's a lot of utensil marks. And this is a cute little piece. I like the fruit theme of it. And I think that was made for Christmas tree shop, if I'm not mistaken. This is an old chamber pot without a lid and with some paint on it. These make fabulous planters, by the way. If you ever need a really unique planter, these will really do the job for you. I can't have plants in my house, otherwise that would tempt me. This is a pretty picture. I like the flowers. This was made in England. I really like it, but it's a sad friend. Too bad. Wow, this is certainly a fixer-upper piece. That would not be for the faint of heart. Cracked and chipped veneer is a big bad time in my experience. So, not tempting to me, but I'll check out the rest of this aisle to see if there's any other furniture pieces that might be small enough to fit in my booth space. Check out these old school chairs. They are so interesting. $7.99 each. They are definitely rough, but they have such a great shape and lots of patina. I like these chairs as well. I used to have kitchen chairs just like these when I was in my 20s. They were so greatly uncomfortable, but very attractive. This old metal bread box is so tempting to me, but in addition to being really dirty, which I could certainly clean, I'm seeing some damage to the metal, so I'm not going to pick this up. There's a phone that's supposed to look like an old phone, but is not. And some side tables, more school chairs down there. I really like this wicker basket, and this would be great in the laundry room for storage as I process things, but the handle's broken. They have lots of pretty pillows and some interesting textiles here today, and I'm not in a hurry, and I'm grateful to be out, so I'm really taking my time. This is a very pretty one. I thought it was handmade for just a moment, but it did have a tag on it. It's a pretty color as well. They wanted more for it than I want to pay. That one's nice too. Now I'm just taking some time to go through the sweaters. Savers often has good clothes, nice things in my experience. And again, I'm just so glad to be out of my house. I am just appreciating every moment that I can be out in the world. So it's a good time to go through some sweaters. Okay, that was fun. We're going on to our next stop. I think we're gonna head to Goodwill. There's one right down the road. The glassware section is full. This is a cute little ashtray. They don't sell very well for me, but I like the color on that one. This vase is really tempting. Can you see the iridescence when I kind of turn it? $5.99. I like it, but I think I'm not gonna pop on this today. I like these fish platters. I've sold these before, but they want $3.99 each, and that's too much for resale. This is such a pretty cup, but there is no saucer, and I have looked and looked, so it's staying here. Check out the aisles and the shelves. There's so much here today. As I said before, lots of clear glass. That Mikasa piece is cute in its box. And I just want to go through and make sure there's nothing special that's evading my attention. I really like these glasses. I love the colors on these. They have a nice shape as well. $1.99. It's hard for me to pick up glasses when they cost more than 99 cents each, so I'm going to leave them here. Now I'm in the China section. This is the section I prefer. This is a beautiful pattern, and I'm trying to get a sense of which way this goes. This is W.H. Grindley, made in England. That manufacturer does not sell that well for me, and this has a lot of paint loss around the rim that gives me pause, so I think that's going to be a no for me, although I do like it. And here's some more of it. It reminds me a lot of my Limoges set, but as I said, this is made by a different manufacturer in a different country. I'm going to leave this here, but it's so pretty. And I'm wondering what's in this box for $19.99. Can I get my hand through? That's the question. Oh, this is a beautiful pattern. Very pretty. Nice. This was made in Germany. This is Hall. How pretty is this? Oh, there is a crack on the bottom and no lid, so that's a no. Too bad. And I like the salt shaker, but without the pepper, I think it's not worth picking up. I wouldn't get more than a few dollars for it. This is a very pretty pattern. I like the roses. I'm wondering who made this. I'm just curious. Can't figure that out today. That bunny's so cute with the little Easter basket. Oh, sad friend. Two sad friends today. This is an adorable set. I have done some comps on this on eBay and it just doesn't have a good sell-through rate, but I think it's charming. My heart stopped when I saw this Portmeirion dish, but look at all the damage on this. Oh, this is a super sad friend. It's got the very old back stamp, so this is probably from the 1970s, but I can't pick it up in that condition. They have some interesting artwork here today, so I thought I would just take a quick peek through. I don't think there's anything super special, but here's a nice look at the store. I like this desk. It's very long. You need the right space for it. That pull is not correct, but that would be a great fixer-upper. And I really like this quilt rack. I need one for my boot space, but I think this one is just too long for me. I need something that would take up a little bit less space, but ooh, it's so close to being just what I'm looking for. This one also doesn't have a price. That was a very worthwhile stop, but I think it's time to go home. It's been a really good thrifting day. I'm on my way through the Heroes Tunnel, and I've done a segment on Heroes Tunnel before, but I thought it would be fun to drive through it together because it has such an interesting look. And there's been some construction here, so that the lights are much brighter than they used to be, and the road is so much smoother. Here are the silly friends who are greeting me as I come home. I'm making a few trips to the car so the door is open, and they are all about sniffing the fresh air. Aren't they so cute? I'm so excited to show you my very interesting haul from my thrifting day yesterday. Who knew that it would turn out so well? So you've seen the footage, of course, and you'll know that I went to an estate sale in Stratford. Oh, by the way, people often ask me, where do I find the estate sales I go to? And the answer is primarily Craigslist. I check Craigslist online. I usually check New Haven County. I check Hartford County. This is all in Connecticut if you're not from Connecticut. And sometimes I'll check some other locations as well, but I often have pretty good success that way. I also belong to a couple of tag sale groups on Facebook, and sometimes I get some just word of mouth recommendations about upcoming like church tag sales and things like that. So lots of different methods, but if you're looking for good estate sales, I would definitely steer you in the direction of Craigslist. So anyway, with that out of the way, I had found this estate sale on Craigslist. If I'm honest, it didn't look super riveting. The pictures were kind of muddy. It looked like a lot of boxes. I couldn't really tell what was what, but I figured, Stratford isn't so terribly far. It was about 40 minutes away. It feels like everywhere in Connecticut is about 40 minutes away from my house. We're very located in the center of the state, which is convenient, by the way. So I figured, what's the harm? Let's go check it out. So I got there, I was following Waze, and I could see that I was in the right neighborhood, I was on the right street, and there were some cars on the road, but there was no estate sale sign, which I thought was confusing. And so I saw somebody who just had left a house and had gotten into her car, and I just kind of leaned over and just said, is this the house with the estate sale? And she said, yes, that's it. She said the owner couldn't be bothered to put up a sign, but that's the place. And I just said, polite more than anything else. I'm like, oh, is there anything good inside? And she said the prices were very high, but there were some unusually high quality vintage clothes, and that she herself had bought quite a lot. So I was intrigued. So I went inside the house, and it was odd. It wasn't immediately apparent to me who was selling or what the situation was. I could see my ring light in the Limoges cabinet. Oh, I don't think there's a way to get rid of that. Sorry, friends, I'm filming this at night, and so my setup is a little different than usual. I hope that doesn't drive you crazy. If I turn off the light altogether, I will look like a vampire and nobody needs to see that. So anyway, I wasn't sure who is the person who's selling, like what's the story. There were like a lot of ransacked boxes in the middle of rooms and some tables with things that weren't priced. It was confusing. The kitchen had that usual estate sale look where like cabinets were kind of open and things were splayed out. I don't know. I was inclined to almost turn back around, and then I just kept thinking that woman said there were unusually high quality vintage clothes. Those are some fighting words. So I thought, let me just go through the house and we'll see what's up. So it wasn't until I got to the attic that I really started to get a sense of what I was looking at, because oh my gosh, holy vintage sweater everywhere. There were so many good things. It was really hard to even narrow it down. And what was interesting was when I was up there, there was a very nice woman who had a bag of stuff, and I had said, oh, you got some good things. And she said, it doesn't matter. I've dealt with this woman before and her prices are very high and I'll probably end up putting everything back. So like, oh no, I said, well, I hope that doesn't happen because it looks like you've got some good stuff, and I guess I'll put a pile together and see what happens. So at that point, I'm like, oh no, is it even worth it to go through this, like this dusty, full attic and do all the digging that's going to be required if I'm just going to be bummed in the end? But I figured, again, I'm already here. Let's see what's what. So it's funny now that I reflect on it. Probably if I hadn't heard so much about high prices, I would have potentially picked up more things. But it's awful, for me, it's awful to like get attached to the stuff you think you're buying and then you're not buying it, and then you have to decide what to put back, and ugh. So my strategy, which was maybe not a good one, now that, again, I'm thinking back, my strategy was to only pick things that I really liked, that I thought made sense to haggle over, and just sort of see what happens. So with all of that preamble out of the way, let me show you what I picked up. By the way, I have my Mara mug. This is our second version, Iris having killed the first one. She hasn't gotten the second one yet. Doesn't mean she won't, but so far, I'm winning. So here's what I picked up. We're gonna start out with this sweater, which reminded me so much of like every sweater I ever saw in high school, and I'm keeping this because I had such a strong nostalgic reaction to it. It is this great big chunky sweater in these great old like 80s, early 90s colors. It definitely has a strong cedar smell to it. This is made by Otavalo, 100% wool, made in Ecuador. When I tell you this would have been just right at home at my high school circa 1989, please don't do the math. And yeah, I may not look like I looked in high school, but I could still have the sweater that I bought for in high school. So I think that's the only sweater that I'm keeping. I also picked up this one. Oh, this is a beauty. Oh my gosh. Here's this one. I know it's a little easier if I stand up and show you these. I wish you could see and feel this. Of course you can see it, but I wish you could feel this thick, chunky, fabulous knit. Here is the tag. So this is Highland Craft, 100% pure wool, made in Scotland. Oh, this is a beauty. And this is, I believe, a size medium. Yes, this is a size medium. So I am going to be listing this on eBay. This is a gorgeous sweater. So that's my plan for that one. I picked up this really nice sweater. This is a men's sweater. You can see it's got a 3/4 zip. This is L.L.Bean. It's not super old L.L.Bean though. It is 100% wool, but this was made in China. So this isn't like the oldest of the old guys, but it's a really nice one. This will look wonderful on Eric. And so I'm giving it to him. And after this video, I'll be popping it in the wash. I also bought this for Eric. I love this shirt. So this was made by Orvis. Orvis makes some really nice things. This was made in India. It's 100% cotton. And it's just a men's checked shirt. It's got this pocket. It's very heavy, so this would be a great like shacket type shirt. I could see Eric wearing a t-shirt underneath it and leaving this open or partially open just as another layer. So I think this is a nice shirt, and I was glad to have it. Then I picked up, I don't know if I might keep this one too, I'm not sure. The jury's out on this one. This one is called Nicholas Moss or Mossy by Joan Miller. It's a large, so a little oversized for me, but I like sweaters that way. This is linen and cotton. Has a great weave, and check out the bottom. This is what I love. Look at the sheep and the border. Isn't that so cute? Look, the little horse and the cow. Yeah, I think I have to keep this sucker. It's just so good. It could really use a nice wash. It's gonna get one. We're almost there. Oh my gosh, and then this one. Oh, I love this so much. I am listing this, but it might kill me. You ready for it? Check out this big, chunky knit sweater and the fabulous pattern. Oh, this is so good. So this is Fisherman's out of Ireland, extra large, 100% wool. Again, with the nice, chunky, amazing knit. It's pristine. These are all in phenomenal shape. There was a big cedar closet in the basement, so I think these were cared for properly. Okay, here's another one, another 3/4 zip. This is nice. This is navy, cable knit. As you can see, show you the inside. This is another Orvis. Really pretty. This is medium, made in China. So I know made in China isn't necessarily super special, but again, I think Orvis makes really nice things. I think this is a nice classic piece. Oh, look, it's got little elbow, like a little circle oval where the elbow goes. So I really liked that. And then the last sweater I have to show you, I believe, is another one that I really like. And it's another L.L.Bean. There's the inside. It's a medium. It's got this awesome flannel inside, and it's a zip up, and it's got, you can see the nice cable knit, couldn't think of the word. It's got a hood. It's a really nice sweater. I might just have to try that on before I say goodbye to it for good, but I loved this. I thought that was just a really great find. So that was, I think, my sweater haul, but there's more. Okay, so I hope this doesn't skeeve anybody out. I know everybody has a different level of tolerance for like used goods and used clothing in particular. And this might cross the line, so we'll see. You're gonna have to let me know what you think. So I have never in my life thought about thrifting socks before, because that sounds, I don't know, like a little gross in some ways. However, this estate had a ginormous collection of fabulous wool socks in perfect condition. I mean, they don't even look like they were used, and I'm in dire need of new socks, and my feeling was I could just wash them. I mean, what's the difference? Once it's washed, right? Right? Validation? Sorry about the dryer in the background. So anyway, let me show you the patterns on these. I picked up this. I mean, I bought way too many. I didn't even buy them all. I bought about half of what was there. I love the patterns on these. Oh my gosh. Got purple ones. These might be my favorite. I love the stripe on this. So good. This is another nice one. My favorite socks in general right now are Bombas. They make the most amazing socks. If you've never owned a pair of Bombas, I highly recommend it. The other socks I really like, I enjoy cashmere socks very much. However, you really can't dry them, and I tend to forget over and over, and then I do dry them, and then they're more like compression socks than cashmere socks. So I'm sure with these I'll have to be really careful so I don't do the same. These are really fun. I love the colors. And when I think about like when I wear my Birkenstock clogs, these would be fun because you'll see the pattern poking out where the heel is. And if that makes me sound like some kind of like bohemian, like professor type person, I'm good with it. These are really good too. And just, oh my gosh, 3 more pairs and then we're done. These like purpley blue ones. That's indie playing in a bag, in case you're wondering what you're hearing. These are really fun. And then the blue ones. So that should pretty much keep me in socks for the rest of my life. I don't know, but I went for it. So you have to let me know, socks, yay or nay? So yeah, I can appreciate that thrifted socks may not be for everybody, but in this case, I'm good with it. I'm really excited about my find. All right, we have Indie in a bag and we have Wilson panting and pacing. So there's a dryer going on upstairs and Eric is playing cards in the barn. So there's some car doors causing Licorice to bark. So, you know, the usual shenanigans are going on here at Worthington Home. So the last thing I picked up was this fabulous L.L.Bean comforter set. So let's break this bad boy out because I want to get a better look at this as well. Let me move my chair back here and you will see what we have together. So, oh my gosh, it's so well made. This was made in India, I believe. It's gorgeous. I mean, look at the details here. Isn't that so pretty? It's very like south of France, if you ask me. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. So this side is multicolor, but then this side is just blue. So you can decide what look you're going for. Wow, that is beautiful. This is so pretty. Let me see if I can find the label for you. Okay, here we go. L.L.Bean, full queen, 100% cotton, made in India. There it is. So this is lovely. And then it also comes with 2 fabulous shams. So yeah, I love these. I think they're really, really nice. And they do seem to be in excellent condition. So I think it was a nice find. Okay, I just put that comforter back in the bag. So yeah, we're in a little bit better shape now. So after I went to that estate sale, I decided to go to Savers in Orange. And it was not a delightful experience. It was like definitely dingier, grungier than I remember it being. Prices were kind of high. There was nothing that was blowing my mind, but I did find this beautiful blanket. This is like, I'm gonna say this wrong. It's like a jacquard. It's cotton and polyester. This is made by Amélie Michel, made in Provence, France. Here's the tag so you can see it. And it's very, very different and very, very pretty. So let me pull this out for you. So here's one side. It's this light blue with pretty white embroidery on it. And then on the other side, it's got like, again, the cream with the blue embroidery, but it also has this pretty border. So really pretty. These are like, I don't know, sunflowers, I guess? Yeah, they look like sunflowers. So I thought this was beautiful. This is a throw blanket. So I paid $7.99 for this, which is more than I really kind of wanted to pay for it, but this brand does seem to fetch nice prices on eBay. So it seemed worth taking a shot. Oh, and I didn't tell you, oh my gosh, this is like one of the most important parts after my whole like lead up to this story. So going back to the estate sale in Stratford, after I piled up all of this stuff and brought it downstairs, I found the estate sale person. She was running it, I think, for a friend of hers. And I had said, you know, how much would you charge me for all of this? And she said, well, you know, she would do a bundle deal. She looked over everything I had and she said she couldn't do a penny less than $100. And that was so funny because in my head, I was thinking, my price is $100. I'm not going more than 100. 100 is it. That's all I can do. And so when she said 100, I thought, oh, good. I won't have to put anything back. I didn't waste my time. This was a success. She made a profit. I've got some wiggle room for reselling. Everybody's happy. So I thought that was a good price. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I paid too much? Do you think it was a good deal? I guess it's hard to say for sure until I actually get sales on things and see what things fetch. But of course, then on the other hand, nothing's going to sell if I don't let it go. So, got to check that hoarder instinct. I'm not good at that. I'm trying. I picked up just a couple of other things at Savers while I was there. Nothing earth-shattering, so don't get excited. I liked this pretty cardigan just for myself. Just a nice, simple navy stripe. This was made by Ann Taylor, I think. Oh, no, this is Loft. So, little Loft sweater. It was $12.49, so, but it's in really nice condition, and I would have bought that sweater new, and I would have paid more for it if it were new, so that was okay. I also bought this pretty black cardigan. This one is apartment 9, so I think that's just Kohl's, but I liked the black, and there's sort of like a little metallic thread running through here. I, cannot have enough cardigans. It really suits me in this house that is both broiling hot and freezing cold. I like to be able to take layers, put them on and off as I need to. And then the last thing I got was this, I don't know, it's not really a vest. It's almost like I don't know, what would you call that? It's not a poncho. It is an open vest, I guess, but it sort of has little sleeves. This was made by Loft, also $8.99 for this. But again, great just layering pieces for when I get cold in the house. And then I can just take them off without messing up my hair. Messier than it already is. Apologies, I got caught in a weirdo snowstorm today and my hair went poof. So that's what I got. I also went to Goodwill. No luck at Goodwill. There were some things that I was kind of looking at, but nothing I felt was, super exciting. So yeah, nothing from Goodwill came home with me, but it was fun. It was fun looking, and I think overall a successful day. I'm remembering the days when I first started thrifting to resell, and I just came back with China and more China and nothing but China, which I still love. But I will confess I'm getting much more particular about the kind of China I like to pick up, only because I don't like to end up with a lot of China in storage in my bins, not moving and kind of driving me crazy, taking up space. So I really try to only pick China that I think is special or unusual or really well made, or something that people are inclined to buy sooner rather than later. That's my strategy anyway. So yeah, clothes were the order of the day and some bedding, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Well, I didn't see this coming. Turns out that when you wash very high quality wool that hasn't been highly processed, it really smells bad. It's like a combination of rotten eggs and gasoline and sulfur and badness. So I'm really hoping that goes away. I've also washed all of the socks, as you can see. They are not nearly so stinky. So I'm hoping that the sweater turns out okay. This sweater is absolutely fine. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens. It's the next day, and I am so happy to report to you that the sweater smells so much better. That horrible, strong odor is gone. And the sweater is nice and clean, as you can see here. I cannot wait to wear this. We seem to be overdue for a Fur Babies update, and I don't have a lot of interesting things to show you because they are all sleeping. It is nap time at Worthington Home, but this girl just woke up. And here's the big guy. Wilson's in his favorite spot as usual in the library. This is why I am forever vacuuming the library, by the way. And over here we have Sleeping Beauty. Miss Iris is taking her cat nap, literally. And of course, because she's deaf, she is out like a light. She has Licorice's toy behind her. Licorice won't like that, so don't tell her. Look how cute she is. And I want to take you over to the other side of the room without spinning and making anyone nauseous, so we can see Indy hanging out on the sofa. He is doing a really weird kind of yoga pose over here. I don't know what kind of position you would call this, but he seems very happy and content, and that's all that counts.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention, how could I forget to mention this? As of this morning, I hit 4,000 subscribers. So thank you if you've subscribed to this channel. If you don't want to subscribe, I understand. But if you did subscribe, I'm appreciative that you did. And if you haven't subscribed and you're open to it, please do, because it really helps my channel grow. It's always exciting to meet these milestones. So tomorrow night, the deal is Eric is taking me out to dinner to celebrate. He always takes me out to dinner when I hit one of these milestones. So thanks for joining me today. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Please hit like if you liked this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.